Hello chess friends and welcome to the channel. Today is round 2 of the FIDE Candidates 2020. I'm back with the second decisive game of the day. Caruana against Alekseenko is already on the channel, so if you want to watch I will put the link in the description. Now let's review together Vachier-Lagrave versus Ding. Let's get started. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave with the white pieces opens with e4. Ding Liren answers with e5. Knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to b5, this is the Ruy Lopez. a6 attacking the bishop, bishop back to a4, knight to f6 attacking the central pawn is the Murphy defense, short castle the main line, after bishop to e7 that is shielding the king, now really it's a big problem if white doesn't defend this pawn. So here comes rook to e1, the main continuation, and now b5 against the bishop, bishop back to b3, short castle for black, h3 controlling g4, bishop to b7, watching e4 from far with the help of this knight on f6. So here comes d3, a new protection to the pawn. After d6 that is protecting this pawn, now really this knight can jump to a5 bothering the bishop. So in this position c3 and a3 will open a safe square for this light square bishop. Here comes a3. Queen to d7, and let's stop one moment. So we notice that black already completed his development. Ding Liren already played this position a couple of times, drawing both games against Nakamura and Shankland. They are also recent games because they were played last year. For Vachier-Lagrave instead, this is a new position. Here comes knight to c3. Rook in f goes to e8, centralize the rook. Now the most played move for white is bishop to g5. Vachier-Lagrave instead continues with bishop to d2. That is perfectly fine. Now we notice that this is a close Ruy Lopez, also a difficult one, so there is to maneuver in this position. Ding begins these maneuvers with knight back to d8. Here comes knight to d5 that is attacking this dark square bishop. But this is, if you compare the two bishops, this is the worst bishop in this position. That's why it's perfectly fine to continue with knight to e6. Instead, here comes knight capture on d5. That is also a nice move. The e-pawn recaptures on d5. And here comes c5. White doesn't capture en passant because this pawn is bothering this knight development. So that's why Vachier-Lagrave keeps this pawn here on d5. I have only one game in database, a draw between two grandmasters played in 2017, where white played c4. Vachier-Lagrave instead plays a4, that is a little improvement. Now in this position, Ding continues with f5, but like in yesterday's game, this f push is a bit rushed. Much better the more solid f6 that is still opening f7 for the knight jump. So what happens now? It happens that Vachier-Lagrave captures, he changes on b5, the pawn recaptures, rook captures, bishop captures, and now c4. This c4 push is strong because black doesn't want to capture or will improve this white pawn structure. And after knight jump to f7, here comes c captures on b5. And black can't recapture because there is the winning skewer, bishop to a4, that will win this exchange. So now white is better than black. So what to do now as black? If we watch these black pieces, it seems clear that there is something wrong in their connections. So best idea is to improve these pieces. Bishop to b7, also allowing this rook to move to the a file if needed is a good move. Another good move is to remove this bishop from the e-file. This knight on f7 is a bit a problematic piece, but maybe in future knight jump to h6, and if black is able to push f4, then this knight can jump back to the center of the board with knight to f5. This could be a good maneuver. Surely this is slow to play. So what happens? It happens that Ding doesn't have the patience to improve his pieces and continues with the risky g5. Now knight back to h2, g7, bishop to c4. Vachier-Lagrave is, at least for now, blocking the queen side to put all his efforts here on the king side. King to g6, here comes g4, knight jump to h6, and now queen to f3. Bishop to d8 clears the e5, now queen to g2, and here comes f4. Now this move is probably a mistake, a strategic mistake, because now that white has no breakthroughs here on the king side, he must move back and play on the queen side, but here on the queen side with b4 he has a good breakthrough, and also this f4 is opening this terrible diagonal where the queen can give check and control the center of the board. So now white is better than before. Vachier-Lagrave continues with the strong b4, here comes bishop to b6, and now queen to e4 we check. King to g7, b captures on c5, now Ding doesn't recapture with the bishop, that looks also more natural, because he understands that the problem is not here but it's there. Let's watch what happens. D captures on c4, now knight to f3 is attacking this g5 pawn, so knight back to f7, protecting the pawn and also improving the protection of e5, but here comes bishop to c3 and this pawn is again under fire. This bishop can move back because Ding didn't capture with the bishop, so this bishop can move back to c7, protecting this pawn, but here comes b6, that is a deflection. Of course now Ding doesn't capture this pawn because wants to keep the bishop on this diagonal. Bishop back to b8, and here comes queen to f5. That is a mistake. Of course white is still in a winning position, but let's go back one move. Now the winning maneuver is bishop back to b3, then bishop to c2, d4 is crashing because white will completely dismantle the center because there is the terrible check, queen captures on h7 check. So let's go back to our game. After queen to f5, of course Ding now he changes the queens, but unluckily for him it's not enough. Queen captures, g captures. This pawn is still under attack. Here comes king to f6, protecting the pawn. Knight back to d2, rook to d8, where the rook is protected, and now the rook is watching this pawn advancement. But d6 to open some files, some diagonals, comes the same. Now rook captures on d6, and rook to b1. b7 is coming, trapping this bishop. Bishop to c6 is the best defensive idea, but black is still lost. Instead here comes knight to d8 with the idea of protecting 2 times this b7 square, but b7 comes anyway. Now if knight captures, there is this terrible knight fork, and after bishop captures on b7, where the bishop is still protecting b7 but now is pinned to the bishop on b8, here comes bishop to a5. This is the winning move and Ding resigns. The bishop is attacking the defender of the bishop under attack, so one piece is lost, also because if this bishop moves away, then it's the bishop on b8 that will be captured. So Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, like in the title, is the uninvited guest. He deserved to be there in the candidates, in my opinion, but a bit of bad luck and some questionable rules took him out. Then Radjabov withdrew because we all know the story of this coronavirus, this terrible virus, and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave is playing in the candidates and is playing to win the tournament. Ding Liren on the other hand is playing bad chess, 2 rounds to losses for Ding, that before this tournament was one of the 2 favorites with Caruana for the final victory. I think that probably what happened with the virus in China affected not only his preparation but also his concentration, but after only 2 rounds I wouldn't bet a single euro that in this tournament he can recover and win the candidates. Let me know what you think in the comments below the video. I really hope that also today you liked both videos. I thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and we will meet tomorrow for round 3. Goodbye!